So, yeah, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, this is not a joke. Um, The Wolf Among Us 2, which is set to release this year after The Expanse, has been delayed to 2024 in order to avoid the crunch, according to Telltale Games. If you don't know, Telltale Games was set to release two games this year. One of them being The Expanse, which is going to be launching this summer and will still be launching this summer. But they were also planning, probably around the fall time, to release The Wolf Among Us 2. However, in order to avoid the crunch of the games, they wanted to delay the game to 2024. It's kind of upsetting, but hear me out. I think this is a good thing. This is a very good thing because in order to make the game as good as possible, they need to put as much time and effort into this game as much as they can. And I think this is a good decision. Am I kind of sad that it's delayed? Yes, but this is good and could be could be this is probably the best decision they have to make. So let's read this article by IGN and see what they're saying. So today, Telltale Games has announced that its long-awaited sequel for the Wolf Among Us has been pushed out of 2023 as an effort to avoid crunch and team burnout, as well as accommodate a move from Unreal Engine 4 to 5. So they're basically saying here that in order to avoid the team being burnout and avoiding the crunch timeline of releasing the two games, they have delayed it, and they're also making the change to move the game from Unreal Engine 4 to 5, which is, in my opinion, a very good thing. Speaking to IGN, Telltale Games CEO Jamie Odell, I'm sorry, I can't pronounce that, explained that the team made the choice for a number of reasons, but primarily to avoid burnout or shipping an unfinished game. So this is kind of good, honestly, because again, burnout for the team. They're releasing two games in 1 year. That's a lot. And also, they don't want to make an unfinished game the thing. So that's kind of what they're saying. And honestly, I don't blame them. Making games is difficult, and they need time to be right, he said. And it doesn't do any of us any good to ship something that's not ready. Otiles explains that, like many other studios, the re-established Telltale Games has struggled with the challenges inherent to building a studio during the COVID-19 pandemic. After being resurrected by LCG Entertainment in 2019, following the shutdown of the original Telltale unveiled The Wolf Among Us 2 at the Game Awards and the following December, but the studio was still in its very early stages with the game in pre-production and explicitly not using any previously developed material, and the new studio roughly 2 years away from being fully staffed, while at the time it made sense to announce early to help secure funding and support for the new initiative. Otile admits that had to be known then about other coming factors like the pandemic. He may not have made the same decision. So obviously they wanted to announce at the time, during COVID, they announced the reason they announced the game back in 2019 was because they wanted to basically get funding from other companies to help with the support and basically production of this new game, The Wolf Among Us 2, which obviously this is a hyped up game and has been ever since The Wolf Among Us 1. We've been wanting a second and sequel to this, which we are getting, and it's honestly crazy, but yeah, so they announced it early, basically just to help the support and funding of the new company, because at the time it was very small staffed, and obviously they didn't have much to work with, so they needed more in order to continue production on the game. um, the best way we could the best game we could have made. So basically, since then, he continues, The Wolf Among Us 2 has been proceeding well, but recently Telltale made the decision to switch from Unreal Engine 4 to Unreal 5. It's a move that Oddtile says happened because Unreal 5 has a number of interesting features that many on his team, specifically engineers and artists, feel are worth the effort. But he admits that that means redoing quite a bit of work that was already done in Unreal 4. So things such as character models and basically updating the character models, updating all the textures and all of these things that are probably going to be broken when they switch to Unreal 5. Now they're going to redo a lot of work and make the game look better, but also feel better as well. With all that in mind, Atal says that there would have been only 2 days to meet. Yeah, there would have been only 2 ways to meet the 2023 release window. One option would have been to ship something unfinished, which would not be good, which is, perhaps obviously off the table. If we put this game out and it's not ready, we're going to get torn to shreds, he says. The expectations are pretty high, which is true, and we want time to meet those, and we want to be proud of it and know that, hey, this is the best game we could have made. Let the world say what they will once it's done, but at least we know that in these times, in these conditions, this is the best game that we could make. So obviously, releasing an unfinished game would not be the best option here, because there are high expectations for this sequel, because everybody's been waiting for it, and honestly, it seems like they wanted to release it this year, but they would probably release an unfinished product that not many people would be happy with, and they want to make the best game that they can make, which obviously is kind of hard to do, but is definitely possible. And then the other option would be crunch, would be to crunch, a problem that reportedly plagued the original Telltale games before its shuttering. Oddtile is adamant that their version of Telltale simply won't do it. So in the original Telltale, basically there was a problem with crunching, which is basically crunching the time, like release windows for each game, and also each episode for each game. They would crunch time and basically just get the episode or get the game out in time, which is not good, because it leaves, or it gets to team burnout. That's what it goes to. It goes to the team being very burnt out and kind of being very hard to move forward and obviously make another game or make another episode. So that's what they're saying. I've done crunch, and I don't want to do it again. And it's not fair to ask it. He says you can't plan a business around it. So yeah, part of it is about maintaining a healthy work culture. We don't want to burn out our good people. It has been incredibly difficult to recruit the last 2 years between COVID and the labor markets and the growth of the games industry. So certainly burning people out or grinding them down is the wrong thing to do in long term. Yeah, which is true. It's not how you build a business, and as an industry, we're terrible about it. We burn out our people. We burn our best people out faster, and as an industry, if we're going to continue to grow, we have to stop it. We have to stop doing it and make better choices. So yeah, they basically are just saying we're not going to burn our people out, and that's just, if we want to make, if we want to continue to grow our company, we have to avoid that and basically just, do the opposite. We need to take our time, and we need to have a better mindset and basically just get the game released, but we need to make it our best effort. So that's basically that. The Wolf Among Us 2 will be an episodic release as its predecessor was, but unlike many former Telltale titles, it's being developed all at once. So when an episode 1 hits, all other episodes will already be completed. It's now on the docket for 2024, but Telltale does have one major release this year, which is the Expanse Telltale series, which is making a partnership with Tech 9 Games. Also the third unknown title in very early development, which I will get to in a second. In the meantime, it's certainly worth going back and checking out the original Wolf Among Us, which is true. Especially its sequel will pick up where Big B, Wolf, and Snow White left off. We praised the first episode for its well-written adventure with an added dose of stylish noir presentation when it released way back in 2013. So, obviously 10 years later, it's still a good game, and had plenty of nice things to say about the 4 subsequent episodes too. So, Telltale has officially delayed The Wolf Among Us 2 to 2024, which is a good thing. Again, I keep saying this is a good thing because in order to make the best game possible, they need to have time to work on the game and make it even better. And obviously, just like the original Wolf Among Us and like The Walking Dead and everything, it will be an episodic basically release. Basically meaning one episode will release, and then the next episode will release weeks or months after the first episode has been released. But they have said that the episodes are all being worked on at once, and when the game hits, when the first episode launches, every single other episode will already be completed, so they can have time. So basically, they won't be burnt out. And again, that time crunch, they have to crunch that time in to get these episodes out. But now, since all their episodes are going to be already done and completed, they can have time to not only, market the episodes, but also work on their next game, which is an untitled game that we don't know what it is and is in very early development, which will probably release in about 2025 or even 2026. So we're going to have to see. Which is another interesting thing, because what could this unannounced title be? Obviously, it could be The Walking Dead, which is what everybody wants, because obviously Telltale has been has been funded from Skybound Games, who are basically they have the properties to The Walking Dead, and basically Telltale was funded from Skybound Games for their Expanse, The Wolf Among Us 2, and an unannounced title, which again could be The Walking Dead. But then again, it could also be a new IP, or it could be Season 3 for Batman. So we're going to have to see what it is. But in the meantime, just saying, The Wolf Among Us 2 has been delayed to 2024. It sucks, but again, they want to do the best they can, and they want to put as much effort into this game as they can to make it a better game than ever, and probably make one of their best games they've ever made. That's pretty much it, ladies and gentlemen. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Let me know what you think in the comments down below about all this, and definitely let me know how you feel about this. Do you think this is a good decision, or do you think this is a bad decision? I think this is personally a good decision that they can make. This is the best decision they have yet, and they need to do it. So that's it, ladies and gentlemen. Hope you guys enjoyed. I will see you guys in the next one. Peace out.